Hey folks, Richard Walls here. Now I did a video early on in the timeline of my channel. So when I started back in May, middle of May, was my first video, and one thing I wanted to do along this YouTube journey is document certain milestones and talk a little bit about experiences that got me to this point. And some of those milestones, the first one was just the first 100 subscribers, which I reached in about 2 months. And 500 was the next one, which is this one. So for those of you that have already subscribed, thank you. And for those of you that have not, it's never too late. Feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. But really appreciate all the support so far. I'm hoping that the material and the content that I'm putting out is adding value to your career and your financial situation. And then the next milestone, I'll be looking to do a video for 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully that will come sooner rather than later. But again, YouTube is a journey it's a lengthy journey. It's not something that you gain traction immediately. Sometimes you can, not always, but it's really about how can I add value to the audience and to the general public that comes across my videos. What really excites me the most is I've been reached out to by many people already wanting advice, what they should be doing for their career, or from the perspective of education, what should they be looking at? And they've asked opinions on, what do you think about this school or that school? And I've gotten a lot of good feedback on how much some of this content has helped them, how much it has exposed them to the different opportunities there are for education as a way to build their careers or support their careers and their development. And so that's been really rewarding for me. And then of course, the audience being global, I'm getting people from around the world reaching out to me, and that's been fantastic. That's been super cool to see. And so now we're sitting at 500 subscribers, which is a nice milestone. So that has happened in little under 5 months. So the first 100 took 2 months, and then from that point it accelerated a little bit. It's kind of stabilized. So I need to figure out what more we can do. I say we, me. I need to figure out what more I can do to continue that trend, the acceleration upward. So I'm going to go ahead and record my screen, and just to share with you a little bit of what my screen currently looks like. So, well, we're at 501 subscribers. But again, at a pretty healthy view count. Last 30 days, 6.5 thousand views, and just 26 videos. This one will be 27 or 28. I've just finished recording my video on 100 side hustles, sort of a book review. Not sort of, it is a book review, but I've got that one coming out around the same time I'm posting this one. And here in a moment I'll show you the trend, but just to show you what my dashboard looks like now. Of course you can look at it now, but hopefully when I revisit this video later in the future, this will be interesting to watch. But so far, at least the way I have it structured is, of course, I got my banner, and then I've got my most recent video that I post here. And then for uploads, I've got one general playlist for my uploads, and this is in chronological order from the most recent video, which is currently this part 4 of Online MBA Experience. And then I have playlists on online learning, and then career acceleration and personal finance. So I've got a good amount of content already. It's certainly an amount of content I'm pretty satisfied with. And of course, there's obviously more to come, but enough to populate some of these playlists and have people be able to go through some of these videos and get a lot of value from certain topics here. So online learning, I might end up splitting that to MBA or online MBAs, and then a separate one for not that, but still online learning. There's a lot of content that I've got now and a lot of content to come. So that's been good. But let me go to the studio, and this will give you some of the analytics I'm looking at. And where do we begin? So let's just go to the analytics here. And this takes a little bit to update. It's just showing 500, should be 501. But now let's do lifetime. So you'll see over time what views have looked like. So you'll see the occasional spike, and that's if I happen to do a good job marketing a particular video, and if it's a good topic, then we'll see that spike. But you'll see a gradual increase. There's no, at least at this point in time, there's no one video or no one day that really launched or catapulted anything. It's been a pretty slow and steady growth. I mean, I don't know, slow by certain definitions, but it's been a steady, healthy growth, I would call it. And same with watch time. Watch time is also very important. As if you're a creator, you might know this, but watch time is very important, especially when you get to the monetization stage of YouTube, which requires 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So again, that's also very important because, you know, based on what YouTube cares about, they care about ad revenue, which means that the longer an audience can stay on the video, if they find the video appealing and interesting, they'll stay on there. They won't exit out immediately. But the longer people watch, the longer they're on the YouTube platform, the better. And the more promoted the video will be and more money YouTube makes, right? So it's important. And you'll see my subscriber base. This has been mixed bag. It's been a mixed bag. Early on, not a whole lot going on. And then I had one instance here, and this is what got me pretty close to the 100 mark. Actually, you know, probably wasn't long after that, but that I posted to a bunch of my classmates, my peers in the online MBA program. I think it might have been through LinkedIn actually, but it might have been internally also, which I think I did a little bit later as well. So there's a few avenues in which I promote it. LinkedIn is one of them. In fact, it's the only one really, because my time is a little bit limited, and unless I find more time or find a way to efficiently get on either Twitter or Instagram, I don't think is a good medium necessarily for this type of content, but you know, I may change my mind in the future. Facebook a little bit, but not too much. Really, LinkedIn is what I'm spending most of my time on, and really it's not even that much time. Most of my time is spent on SEO optimization for the YouTube channel. And so I want to be discovered through search and through what's the word I'm looking for? Through recommended videos, YouTube recommending videos from other videos and not my own. So that's what I'm really looking for through this whole process. So I'm really focusing my time on that. And so far, the subscribership has been a bit of a mixed bag. No clear direction or trend apart from, early on, after this point, after I get that 18 subscribers that one particular day, since then it's been generally healthy. I mean, it's in the right direction, but certainly there are a lot of peaks and valleys along the way. So it's not consistent, not the way I'd like to see it. But nonetheless, if we look at some of the videos, I've been pretty satisfied. In fact, one thing that I learned that was pretty interesting was one of the earlier videos that I did for my channel, I actually didn't spend a whole lot of time on, in the sense that I put together a script or anything like that. This one, I, in some ways, winged it. I don't want to say I winged it entirely. This was a review for Udemy, edX, and Coursera, platforms I've had experience with, and some, like Coursera, very extensive experience with. So I can rattle off my opinion and going through some of the website and the interface. But it was something that I just put together fairly quickly and thinking, okay, I'm going to try a long format video and see how it goes, and do this kind of format where I'm videoing myself and doing a screen capture and that type of format. I just want to experiment. And so not thinking much of it, and it didn't really perform too terribly well, which is fine. Again, it was an experimentation, and that's something as an early creator, you have the flexibility to do. You can experiment and see what works, what doesn't work. But what I found interesting was later on, this particular video ended up getting quite a lot of traction. In fact, it ended up being, you'll see early on, here's the timeline. It's slowly, going up, and then you start seeing this curve go up dramatically. Same with watch time, and that I don't pay too much attention to the subscribers in this case, but nonetheless, they're watching a good percentage of the video, and I have it to where I have timestamps in this video because it is a longer video, and I just want people, if you want to go to this section, you can, and get to it quickly. But you'll see how much YouTube started promoting this. I mean, early on, the impressions were very minimal, and then started getting traction later on, which again was pretty surprising. Click-through rate's decent, but this was a video that was the nicest surprise for me because I didn't think much of it to begin with. So it's nice to see that perform. And then I've had a handful of videos that, the first video I did is an online MBA worth it. That continues to be a top performer. And some of these are also strong performers. And as far as average view duration, I do take a look at that. Again, all pretty healthy numbers for some of these top videos. 47%, 44, 50, 49. Again, pretty healthy. But then you get to some of the videos, and these are all sort of online education related, or but then you get to some of the other videos that I have on finance and slightly different subjects, and then you have watch times or percentage watch times not as good, which I find pretty interesting. So that's something I need to look into a little bit more. Again, it's not terrible, but compared to some of the other videos, I could certainly do some work there. But that's what we're looking at. We see a good trend for some of these videos, and it's, it used to be when I had the 100 subscribers that this first video is an online MBA worth it. That was making up the vast majority of my views. But now it's more diversified. The performance is spread across a little bit better across other videos. So that to me is a good thing, and that's a positive sign. In fact, I got this on lifetime, so clearly this video is still, for my total views, still the best. But if you go back to the last 7 days as an example, well, now it's at 26%, 26.5, and you got a handful of other videos that are, in the 10% plus or minus of percentage of all my views. So again, it's a good mix of things going on. And one thing I'll be doing going forward a little bit more is I've always had a little bit of paralysis when it comes to not deciding topics. I've got a whole list of topics that I could potentially talk about, but the challenge is, well, what are people searching for? And how can I rank myself in search? How do I create content or create a description or title and content that will be searchable, will be indexed easier than maybe other topics? And so that's the hard part. That's the most difficult thing. And I think in some cases it's caused me to procrastinate because in my mind I got to do all this research beforehand, and not to say that you shouldn't, because I do, and I continue to do that, and it's still very important. But sometimes I would put off my videos until the very last minute because, again, I was always thinking, man, I got to do more research. I got to make sure this is, a topic that people are searching for. And ultimately, I need to back off of that a little bit because I'm putting things off that I shouldn't necessarily be putting off and procrastinating on some of this stuff. And so, going to do my research, going to do a healthy amount of research, but I'm not going to go to extremes and try to optimize every detail of it to the best of my ability, or to that's going to take me too much time. And in my view, and this is probably typical of any, I mean, it's kind of a rule of thumb in general, the 80-20 rule, where you get 80% of your results from 20% of your efforts. And but really, when it comes to doing this SEO research, there's a point of diminishing return, because you try to optimize everything, and at some point, if you continue to do research and you continue to try to find exactly the right keywords, the exact right combination of words for your description or title, at some point, you've done your research, and just go ahead and launch it. And if you continue to do more research, it's not like you're going to get this huge miraculous SEO win and be indexed and be very highly ranked. It's a bit of a roll of the dice in some ways. It's not totally roll of dice. Again, you do your research, but you don't need to take it to an extreme, especially if that means that you're procrastinating and putting things off and ultimately not making decisions. And if I can tie this into a lesson in life, in business, and in your career and professionalism, is paralysis by analysis is a real concept. And I think the tendency is for people, and I don't do this at work. I mean, I used to, but I've gotten out of that habit for the most part, because I do my research, and then I take action. I don't spend more time than I need to, because then that wastes time, and time is extremely valuable. But I think I might have reverted back to that way in this YouTube journey. And so I need to back off from that is what I'm getting at. So, and it's Wednesday now, so just did my video. I'm doing this video now, so I'm not procrastinating for for the first time in a few weeks. So in a good spot. So 18,500 views, so pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with the progress, and hopefully this trend continues. Hopefully more people find the channel and ultimately subscribe. So hoping to see that more and more. And if you've actually watched all the way through this video, maybe you skipped ahead, I don't know. But if you watched all the way through, let me know what more you'd like to see from this channel. If there's topics that I haven't covered yet, which there are many, and I've got a whole list of things I will talk about. But if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, certainly let me know. And I would love to make a video on that. So I'll leave it at that. The next video of this type that I'll be doing is going to be at the 1,000 subscriber mark. So we're at 500, I've got to double it, 2x. We'll see when that happens. I'm projecting, based on my abilities to forecast, February timeframe, January-February timeframe. Actually, I think that's what I have pegged for when I can be monetized. I think that's the combination of my 4,000 hours watch time and 1,000 subscribers. So that's the goal. Hopefully I can do it even sooner than that. The original goal was to be monetized in a year. So that would have put me in May. So I've already gotten ahead of that timeline or that goal. And hopefully in the next month or two, we'll start seeing a little bit more traction, and we'll see what happens. So thanks for indulging me in this sort of fun vanity video that I can look back on. Hopefully you can look back on too, especially if you're a YouTube creator, and hopefully draw inspiration and see how far this channel has come along. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.